Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley. Today we are joined by founder of AttractWell, Greg Killine. Hey, Greg.
Hello, everyone. Glad you're here.
We're thrilled to be here today. Today we're going to be talking about taking payments on your site, so how you can use AttractWell to get paid. We'll be doing really just a lot of show and tell today where that's concerned. The training portion of this call, I think, is going to be pretty brief. With the exception of, the options that you guys here have live to ask questions and have us get into maybe more in-depth potential iterations of what we'll be sharing with you today. But I'm going to walk through the basic setup of getting yourself set up for payments. We'll talk a little bit about what our two main ways of getting paid using AttractWell are, and then of course, different use cases for those and ways you can go about setting them up. Before we get started, welcome. We're excited to have you here today. This is a live call that we offer at 2 p.m. Eastern every Thursday as an opportunity to serve the broader community of people who serve. So this is coaches, this is course creators, consultants, practitioners, network marketers. If you are in a people-based business, we've got your back with AttractWell with everything that you need under one roof, so that you don't have to spend all of your time zip-zapping and pasting things together to make your business run. So let us know in the chat what kind of business you have, what you're working on this week. And of course, if you have questions, if you came here today looking for help or support, go ahead and add that to the Q&A. If you want to join us, if you're watching this as a recording, on a future live call, you can go to attractwell.com/office hours to be notified of our upcoming live calls like these, where you can join us and even work together with us on a call, which we may get into today, depending on what you guys are in the need for, what you need help with today. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is first make sure that we are set up in your AttractWell system to actually receive payments. So what we're going to do is just go to our dashboard in AttractWell, and I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly what this looks like. I'm in a test account here for Jane. So let's go down here to my account settings. We're going to make sure that we set up our payment processor. So we're going to hop right over here to settings, scroll down to payment processing. And this is, if you have not set yourself up for payments yet, this is where you're going to want to go and connect with Stripe. If you don't have Stripe yet, you can actually set that up right here and move through that process. So you can set up your Stripe account, and once it's connected, we can then move into the next steps, which are actually setting yourself up to take payment on your site. Now, before we do that, and I do have to switch accounts here to one that has payments enabled. So there are two different ways on your AttractWell site that you can collect funds. And of course, you can attach all kinds of amazing automations to really customize the process by which someone makes a purchase, receives what they paid for, is followed up with in any number of different ways. So there are a couple of main things to know. First is that there are two ways to get this set up. Number one is using a vault. So if what you are selling is actually being delivered inside of your private member area, so this is going to be applicable to you if you are offering coaching, consulting, courses, where there's video content inside of a password protected, or any kind of content inside of a password protected area. So if your purchasing experience that you're offering to a future client or customer is one where they would be needing to set up a login to access information, you're going to want to set things up in a vault, set up your payment at the vault level. If specifically, you're going to want to set it up that way if you want to have a payment plan or recurring payments. Now, our other way to set things up for payment is on Pages. And with Pages, you can sell things that are in Vault, but you could also sell lots of other things too. Packages of calls, time with you, access to a training, a PDF, an ebook. Really, the sky's the limit there. The only limitation is that if you need to set up payment plans, multi-part payments of any kind, whether that is ongoing, recurring, so if you have a membership or a mastermind or something like this, that's a monthly fee, that's going to need to be set up for payment at the vault level. And of course, any and everything else can be set up on a page. So let's go and take a look at what an actual page looks like where you can accept payment. We'll play around with some versions of it. And we'll also look at a vault level payment as well. Actually, since we're doing this in order, I want to go ahead and show you vaults first. So I do have a paid vault here inside of the AttractWell member area that I can show you. The Pipeline Igniter, it's a mini course that we offer, and we do make this paid. So people can join this from inside of our member area, but it is a purchase. So we have that set up here under payment setup. So this is the tab you're going to want to look for when you set up your vault. And by the way, we do, if you're unfamiliar with vaults and member areas and setting this up, we do have an entire free course that we offer that you can use and follow step by step to learn how to get this set up for your business. So what we've done here is we have checked this box to require payment to access this vault. Okay, so that means that, you know, for anybody to be able to get access to this, they must purchase in order to be able to see it in their member area, in your member area when they log in. And then, of course, to access the materials in it. So what we're going to do is first, of course, add our payment processor. This is going to be necessary. If you go to try to set up payments, you're going to see that you need to go back to step one, right? If you haven't connected Stripe yet. So we've got to get that done. Obviously, you've got the name of your product or whatever your offering is. And then we've got these different plan options. Now, I know that this says for 1 month, but this is just a one-time payment. The reason why it says month is because we actually have the option here to charge monthly for vaults. So let's look at what this could look like, right? So what we have here is the one-time payment, right? $47, there's no coupon code. I actually don't have any automations attached to this because there's an email that goes out at the vault level. And so I don't need any kind of specialized stuff here. However, if you are offering multiple experiences inside of one vault, so let's just say, for instance, you are selling a course and it's $47, but there are people who get the course, but then maybe get private links to join you on calls, or they get a number of sessions with you that go along with the materials in the vault. Maybe they're being charged a certain amount on a monthly basis. You do have the ability to tag the people who purchase these different options accordingly, so that you could say filter for them and send them customized information. You can also, of course, attach automations here where you can initiate email campaigns, special redirects and things like this that will further customize their experience post-purchase. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a name. Obviously, in this case, it's active, but if you wanted to say, for instance, create a you wanted to create a payment plan or a coupon code that's only valid for a certain period of time, you can always go in and deactivate those codes by just simply checking this button here. So what we're going to do next is, you know, we'll give this discount, right? So this one we're giving it a name. This would be the AttractWell or the Getaway Client discount. And so what you do here is you check this box to make sure it's active. You give the coupon code a name here. And then, of course, what you're able to do when you create this plan. So I'll just set this up with a coupon code. So this will be office hours, right? And so this is going to be a one-time payment, an initial one. If we wanted this to be a recurring payment, we have the option of setting that up here in this box as well. If you do, you know, a one-time payment and then a recurring, you can also do that here. So I'm going to set up the initial payment. This will be for $27. So that's $20 off. The coupon code is going to be, I'm going to name this office hours discount. And I'm going to put the code in here, office hours. You don't have to go all caps, but that's what I'm doing here. Of course, you can select your currency. Obviously, you're going to be setting this up for wherever you're selling. You may need to create different options if you are selling to people in different markets, depending on how you want to set that up. I know for some of us, we have audiences in multiple places and want to accommodate. So you do have the ability to do that here. And then, of course, you get to add any of your tags, automations, and so on. So we click Add Plan here. And so now you can see that this is in the list with the other guys. Okay, so that is essentially it. So if you want to set up a vault to receive payment, let me actually show you what this looks like. I'm going to have to log out of here, I think, if I want to look at this. Let me go see. I'm going to actually view the page. See, if you're actually logged in, then you are not going to be able to see the payment page. Let me go check this out real quick. I may need to pop out of my, there we go. So this is what it'll look like when you are selling from the actual page itself. Okay. So this again, we put in the code office hours here and hit apply. This now becomes 27. Actually, I didn't save that. Here, I'll put in AttractWell. I know that's an active one. So we can hit apply and now it's 27. Okay. So the person who makes this purchase, since they selected this, if you have special tags, again, any kind of post-purchase experience that you want to create, all of those things would automatically apply. And of course, you would be setting up the Vault payment page right down here, this checkout page message. This is where you could essentially turn this into a sales page of sorts. You could also, if you are offering something that is a payment plan, or that is a recurring payment, but you really want to use a page, like an AttractWell page for a sales page, you could always link to this page for checkout. So, you know, you have your call to action on your sales page, and then they click that button, they come over here, they enter their info and they check out. Okay, so that is option number one. That's door number one. Now, door number two is definitely one that, in terms of design and the experience that you can create, it's one that you have a lot more options, right? So the sales page template, let's go view this. So if we're setting up this sales page, right, we actually did do a training on this. We've given this away as a resource bundle. Definitely check our YouTube channel for that, to get that resource bundle and to follow along with the training on how to set this up. So what we're going to want to do is actually set ourselves up with a way to take payment, right? So in this particular case, obviously, these are all zero value because this is a template. But let's go and I'm going to create, we've got several of these. So I'm going to play around with one of these. So what we'll do is on the page that you want to be selling, whatever it is that you're selling, you've got two options to display this this opportunity to purchase. So you're seeing here where we're clicking a button and it's popping up a form where they can enter payment information. By the way, you can add any other fields here that you like. If you want to require phone number, if you are maybe this is an initial client intake and you need to get information from them prior to your call, you can have any number of different types of questions and response fields included in the same space, excuse me, as the payment info. So the way that we're going to set this up for this particular instance is on the button down here where they can buy. What we have is a link. If the URL field says #lead right here, that is what causes the button to pop up on the page. Now we can edit the contents of that pop-up field by going to settings here and then going over here to leads. This is where we actually put our information in that we want to show on that form. And we can also, of course, customize whatever inputs we want to require from someone in order for them to proceed with the purchase. But what I want to show you and focus on here is payment options. Okay, so when we click payments, we are going to check, because if this is not checked, then there is no option here, right? So we're going to check this. We're going to attach our Stripe account here so that that is the account that's getting paid. And then we add a payment option, right? And so all you have to do here is give it a name. I'm going to go ahead and remove that one that I just created. You're going to give it a name. So here's, you know, paid in full. This is going to be, you know, whatever your amount is, you're going to put that in. Again, same as with the Vault, you can add a coupon code if you want. Really cool thing about pages is you can limit quantities. of seats for whatever, right? Like if you're selling something that is only available to 20 people, you can put 20 in here, and then this would be disabled. For whatever reason you would want it to have that limit. Maybe you're doing an in-person event, there's only so many seats. That's how you could set this up. Again, you can do any of the other post-purchase optimization options. You can use automations to do lots and lots of things, right? If you wanted to give yourself reminders to follow up with somebody, if maybe they're a new client, you get a follow-up plan, you attach that to an automation. You can send a certain campaign to them and so on. Of course, you could tag them as well here. And that's really it. It's pretty straightforward. Now, there's one other option that I want to show you guys. And that is for you to display the payment form on the page itself. So what we're looking at here is a pop-up, right? Well, what if you want them to actually see where they can like enter their name and email and everything literally straight on the page? We're going to do that with a form template. It's really simple. All we're going to do is click this little plus sign in between a section. Of course, if we're going to be using a sales page, we typically are going to want to say quite a bit before we, tell them to put their information into purchase, right? So we're going to put this a little further down the page. I'm going to click this little plus sign here and go to form. And I'm going to click this guy right here. And this is literally what it looks like. It looks very simple, right? It looks like nothing, but you're going to actually see on the page what it looks like, either if you want to go into preview, or of course, we'll look at it here in just a second. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we've got our settings adjusted properly. So we want to go to our settings here. And under leads, where it says lead capture form shows, we want to make sure it says on the page. Okay, so that's going to make sure that the pop-up isn't happening. Now, we can't have a pop-up and an on the page form. That would be two different forms on one page, and that's not something that we are able to do right now. So just make sure that you've got on the page selected here, and then of course, whatever the information is that you want to share, whatever the information you want to require of them, and then of course, where do you want them to go after they purchase? Are they going to the vault to log in? Are they going to a confirmation page that tells them to check their email or what have you? Make sure you have all that stuff set up as well. So I'm going to hit done and save, and we're actually going to go and see what this looks like when we go all the way down here. Where did it go? Where's our form? Where is it? See, I've completely lost it on the page. Where did I even put that? Okay, create a life of freedom in 10 hours a week. Okay, I see where it is now. It's a very long page. All right, so let's go find it. Why would that not be showing right now? Huh. Let's go look at it in our preview then. Did I do something to this? Here we go. I did it. It's me. All right, so you can actually see that it is now on the page itself, right? They'll actually be able to choose their options, enter a coupon code if you have one, and so on. And it is literally embedded into the page. So I would have this. What I would do if you're using our sales page template like this one, and you don't want to use a pop-up, you want it to be embedded on the page. Then what you're going to want to do is name your section here where you have the form, and you're going to use the jump to link to go there, right, to pay. And that is actually something that we go over in the sales page training. So definitely make sure that you check that out if you want to learn how to do that. So that's essentially it, you guys. Very, very simple to get this piece done here. So let's talk a little bit. If you guys want to learn more about how we could maybe structure how your payments are set up or post-purchase processes for a specific offering that you have, feel free. Let's put that into the Q&A and we can walk through it, talk through it. And then, of course, if you're here today and you're looking for any kind of specific help or feedback, I want to welcome you to, raise your hand. I can bring you out to chat, and we can talk through anything that you may be stuck on or looking for feedback on here today as well. All right. If you only address payment after a phone interview, which do you suggest? It's a good question, Randy. So payment, if you're only offering, so you're not doing a sales page in this instance, right? Like your funnel is really like a discovery call funnel. And then of course you would be, depending on how you do this, one of the easier ways, if you're doing a discovery call and you're actually like conducting the sales process via the call, you can take their information and enter it into whatever form page you like that you use for your own purposes. If you do want to send them a link that has things spelled out, written out and everything with the form on it, then I would just do a very simple page that, kind of goes over sort of contractually, like here is what you're buying, here's what you're getting, here are the guarantees, whatever. And then of course, the payment options where they can enter that information in and make that purchase. And then of course, you want to make sure that you've got everything plugged up on the back end. So that would mean, you've got, since that's a new client, you want to tag that person as client or client of a particular program, or however you want to segment your list in that way. If you need to be reminded to follow up with this person at intervals, you can attach via an automation a follow-up plan for that contact. And then of course you want to redirect them after they've made that purchase to some kind of confirmation page, letting them know that they successfully made that investment and here's what you do next, that kind of thing. So yeah, any other questions, feel free to ask them. Tom, that is so exciting. And we are so looking forward to seeing what you've put together with your best referrals. It was really, really exciting stuff. So I just want to catch up here in the chat as well. Welcome. We've got some new faces here today as well. We're so glad to have you and to work with you guys here. All right. So can you do payment on the landing pages? So let's actually screen share, Carrie, and I'll show you the answer to this question, which is the answer to the question is no. But I do want to make sure that we are clear because some folks might not even know what that feature is. So we do have landing pages as a page option on our site. If you really want something that is solely for the purpose of collecting lead information, very little other opportunity or information on the page to do anything other than learn why and put their information in. That's what a landing page is going to be for. It's also one that you can attach to you can kind of make it like a gateway into your site where somebody would have to land there in order to be able to move to a next step. And so this would be for you if maybe you're not using a traditional homepage for your site, but you're using your site really as sort of a funnel, a lead generating tool in a primary sense. So these landing pages are really here to be a very simple function. Now you can replicate the same function of a landing page using our website pages, using these custom pages here. And so you are able to take payment on these pages. You're able to go beyond just name, email, phone and add as many fields. I mean, I could say as many as you want. I don't think it's literally infinite, but it's way more than you need. Like the max is way more than I think anybody will ever need. So, so yeah, you can fulfill the same function as a landing page on a page. And so that would be where you would want to take payment is on these pages. Okay, and Randy, thank you for moving that over to the Q&A. Hope that answered your question. When they fill out the landing form, is it okay to direct them to a pop-up? Let's go look at what you're talking about here. So if what you're talking about, Carrie, is going to like literally sending them to a URL where the pop-up is, like you've just done here, I've shown you, or going straight here, you could absolutely do that. And wow, you offer a lot of things in this one page. That's cool. I would definitely make sure that if you're using this, like, because it has so many different options on it, that this is a tool, a link that you're using as a follow-up to a conversation and you're giving clear direction, right? Or if you're using it in your content, give clear direction as well. So if the call to action is to click this link, we also need to say, click this link and scroll through the list and look for private paddleboard yoga and make sure you click that and you'll be able to enroll in whatever, right? So you're gonna either do that, that additional instruction is going to need to accompany this link just because there are so many options here. But yeah, 100%. When you add the hashtag lead to the end of your URL, that is going to take them straight to the pop-up if you're using a pop-up on the page. Similarly, if you're using a jump to section, if you put hashtag whatever the name of that section is and you share that link, it'll go straight to that section of the page as well. Good question. Let's see. And yeah, you absolutely can go about it this way. There's no problem in doing that, especially if you're moving people straight to whatever the point of purchase is. Either, that having that be the call to action from content or from a conversation, depending on how you convert your business. I love it. Good commentary here, Tom. Excited to see what you've put together from following the Client Funnel Challenge. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or if you would like a review of any of the work that you are working on this week, if you have any wins that you'd like to share or you'd just like to come out and chat, want to welcome you to do that. I don't want to take up your time if you don't need any additional help this week. I hope you guys are now clear on how you can set up payments using coupon codes. And of course, if you go to attractwell.com/online course, that is where you can actually learn to set up your vaults and take payments there. And there is a customization of the post-purchase process and all of that. I go into some of that detail there. So even if you are using a page to sell things, some of the considerations that are made in sort of what I teach in that course can be helpful for you to kind of think through as well. I think just as a general best practice though, you always want to make sure that you are redirecting that purchaser to a next page, either literally to the thing that they bought or to some kind of a confirmation page that acknowledges what they've just done, confirms that it's gone through correctly, and sets expectations for what to do next or what they should expect next from you. All right, Carrie says, haven't used coupon code yet. Excited to add them to my list. So you won't be able to see them unless I give you the code. That's right. Yeah, so what's going to show up once you have that in place is there'll be a field for a coupon code, but you're only going to see that applied once somebody has actually entered the code there. Yeah. And you do have, just as you do, and I showed you in the vaults, you can choose to make a coupon code active or inactive as well and make those modifications to however that works. And for you in particular, Carrie, because on this pop-up form, you have so many different options that you're offering, definitely make sure that that people are being tagged with a unique tag when you set those payments up, that they're being routed to the correct confirmation page for, again, confirming that they've gotten things, the thing that they said they wanted. And then of course that you've got your campaigns that are echoing the same, because there are a lot of directions somebody could go to from that form. Mark, that's a really good question. Right now, it is a manual process to validate or invalidate a coupon code. But I believe it's on our wish list to set like coupon code, available for X number of months. That's right, Greg, right?
Yeah, I think that's come up before. It's a suggestion.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a +1 for that one on the wish list, Mark. But yeah, what you can do is just, simply, kind of time it, go in, uncheck it, is where we're at with that presently. Hi, Kathy. So you can find the sales page template. You're actually, the easiest way to find this is going to be to go over to our YouTube channel. So that's going to be youtube.com/AttractWell. And then if you search, and I'm actually going to pop the link into our chat here so you can see it. But there's a search feature right here on the channel. I'm going to type in sales page and you can find it right here. So you're just going to want to click the video and well, why did it do that? There we go. We want to click it. Let me pause it so I don't get noise here in my ears. But when we click here, you can actually see that there's a resource bundle link. So if you're logged in to your AttractWell account, then of course you can click here and then check the button, check the box, click the button, and now you have the sales page. And for those of you who are Get Oiling users, quick tip, what you are able to do, let me go back to that page here. What you're able to do when you grab this this link here, you want to copy the link, but you want to come over here, and when you are in where it says AttractWell in the URL, you're just going to change this to Get Oiling, and you'll be able to claim any of our templates for AttractWell on your Get Oiling site. For those of you who are Get Oiling users, I know we got a few here. All right, totally separate question. When I do a Zoom class, I can have 10 attendees here at the plane with 10 attendees. Am I included in that 10? So I can only have 9 people in me. That's a good question. Greg, do you know the answer?
I'm pretty sure you are not included in that. That's what my understanding of it is.
Yeah, that sounds right, because you have a different link, right? So you're the host, you're clicking one link. And so I think that does make the designation of you as host and everyone else as attendee. So maybe grab some friends if you want to give it a test run, but yeah, pretty sure you would not be counted among the attendees. Let's see. Question, Kathy. Speaking of Zoom, I have a pro account. Do I schedule through that and add the link into it, AttractWell? So actually, you don't need Zoom anymore if you've got us. You actually have Zoom integrated. So let me go back over here to AttractWell. If we scroll down here to Zoom events and blog, your Zoom meetings are right here. So you can create recurring meetings. You can, set up a specific meeting for the future. What I really like to do, especially if you are someone who has people booking with you and you're on Zoom frequently, like I am, like for clients, for instance, or leads, if you're using calls like this for that purpose, then you can have a recurring link. And here's a cool thing. I've never taught this, I don't think, on one of our live calls before, so buckle up. So what I do here is I actually take this, I set a recurring meeting link, and actually this is literally one of them that I use, this guy right here, the AttractWell Business Blueprint. So I set this up, it's a recurring link. It happens, it's anytime I can click start and I open the meeting, right? Now, I've set it up the way that I like to have it. You're muted when you come in. There's a waiting room enabled. And I believe, let me go to edit this. I'll show you my favorite presets for these things. And this is also true when I do coaching calls. I enable the waiting room. I mute participants on entry, and I do not automatically start video for anyone because I want to honor, folks who don't want to be on video. I know I get Zoom fatigue hard, and I don't like being on video all the time. So yeah, set it up that way, save it, and then here's what you do, right? So when let's just say you use Calendly, and you could do this with a free Calendly account. It works beautifully. The location, and so this is where, like, if you're using Zoom previously and maybe something like Calendly or Acuity, you are literally integrating and connecting Zoom and Calendly if you have a paid Zoom account. Well, with AttractWell, like I mentioned, you don't need a paid Zoom account anymore. So what you do is you grab this attendee link right here. You copy this link and you make that the location of the event that that person is booking when they book you, right? And now what you get to do is just go here and click start meeting. I take this a step further and make my life even easier by saving this start meeting link as one of my favorites. So I have 3 different kinds of calls that I do regularly. And so I have my shortcut links of just, these are the places that I go all the time, right? 3 of them are calls. Here's the AttractWell one, right? So yours is going to have a little bullseye like this because it's on AttractWell. But this link right here is this start meeting link, right? And so for the other 2 calls that I offer, to clients and to leads on our other platform, those are start meeting links for those calls. And so when it's time, my calendar pops up, says, in 10 minutes, meeting with so-and-so. I know that in 10 minutes, all I have to do is open a new tab in my browser. And I could do this from my phone too, because it's Apple and, that whole ecosystem. I could, from wherever I am, literally click this, it pops open Zoom and you're in the right place. It saves so much time. I never have to go searching and fumbling for a link. They get the link automatically because they've booked, and the location is this attendee link, right? And it's always the same. Never have to worry about a new one, right? And then of course you can just open up and start your meeting from whenever. I hope that helps you guys. It's definitely a workflow system that's helped me a great deal. Yeah, Randy, absolutely. Let's talk. Good to have you on. How are you?
I am very, very well. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Excited to be chatting with you today. So what's up? What's your question?
This is going to be a different one.
Okay.
I had the tremendous fortune of selling a coaching practice. So what I've been working on, I'm no longer working on. I have strict rules about what I can do going forward, obviously, and non-disclosures and all kinds as to who bought it and so on. And some things have to stay there, even though it's redirected to them. But so what my question is, there are things I can do and things that I definitely want to do in terms of keep on coaching. So if I'm going to use AttractWell in doing that, I can send out an announcement of what I'm going to be doing in terms of a new offer. I don't have a clue how to use you guys to do that. Should I just, so it's just the beginning step here. I'm sure later on I'll have a lot more questions, but how do I set it up and just put a new domain and attach it? Or how to use the system best to do that?
Sure. So, we're going to kind of do an order of operations here. The first thing is you need to establish whatever the offer is, right? The deliverable. So in your case, these would be calls, like maybe people would be purchasing time.
It'll actually, there's a group of CEOs and C-suite people that I've been working with kind of on the side that I can actually expand. And that's what I'm going to make my offer to that group of people.
Okay.
So it'll be a group coaching platform.
Okay, excellent. So will you be conducting the group coaching using AttractWell or?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So what I would make sure that I have in place first is the deliverable, the thing that you're selling. And so how to build your online course, that's the attractwell.com/online course. That's going to walk you through, and I do have some use case iterations that I talk about in there for group coaching. And I'm happy to, kind of show some examples of how I conduct my own on our platforms as well. But anyway, so you're going to want to make sure you have that set up, of course. We're basically building, from the bottom of the funnel out toward the top. So make sure that you've got that set up and you've got the payment set up for it. An alternative, something that you could do if you wanted to get the word out, you could do a little bit of a wait list, like make a sort of a mini funnel that's, hey, if you want to be in the loop about this and be the first to know when this thing goes live, then that can just be as simple. You could use a landing page or a page for this to just collect information, tag those people. And then of course, you can filter for them to send out the payment information and everything when the offer is ready to launch. But yeah.
Stop you there real quick. A
Yeah.
lot of these guys, because of their position, they prefer that they just write me a check.
Okay.
So is there anything, I need to keep track of that. Is
Right.
there a place I can do that?
100%. Yeah. So you would be doing this. Here, let me actually, I'm going to get into a dummy account first. And then I can actually go and show you this. Yeah, you're just going to do that in our contact manager. Basically, you're going to use tags and things like that. So, real quick, because I do want to make sure that, like, especially because you're probably going to want to watch the replay of this section to kind of make sure you've got everything in order. So the first thing is, of course, to create the thing that you're offering. The next step is of course to determine the pathway in, right? So in the case of somebody who's just going to cut you a check, once they have made the purchase, the check is cleared, however it is that you want to set it up. Basically, all you're going to need to do is to go to your contacts and locate that person. So maybe it's Rupert here. And what you're going to do is you go to edit this contact, and you're going to maybe add a new tag for him for that program, for instance, whatever the filter is that you want to be able to recall and use to make sure that, you know, if you want to communicate with just that bunch who's a part of that, or you want to, you know, just for records and everything, you want to know who is what. So you're going to be manually adding this person to your vault, which is a really simple thing to do. If you could just go to their contact card, you just go down here, you select add. And then, of course, you add them to whichever one of these there is. Because you will want to have a payment option on the vault itself, you are going to see a little box down here to check that says provide access for free. And so you're basically going to be overriding the payment, the digital payment for that person, if they're coming in that way. And then, of course, the next piece would be if you are going to be offering you know, something that would utilize a sales page, then of course you'd want to use one of those. It sounds like this is going to be a post-conversation offer. So in that case, I would just have a very pared down, simplified version of a sales page wherein, or actually, I mean, since you're doing it in a vault, just use the vault checkout page, right? So just going to your vault and we'll just pretend like this guy is going to require payment. There we go. So this checkout page message, you know, so just put whatever information about the program, the details, the refund policy, whatever you want to do in the checkout page message for the vault that you've created. And then, of course, to get the word out about this, you know, that this is where we're getting into like how you're actually going to fill this pipeline and get people into the program. I assume you already have sort of a database of the contacts that you want to email and reach out to make this offer. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, the next thing you're going to want to do, if you haven't done so yet, is to import those contacts. And so if you go to my contacts, I'm sorry, not your contacts, you go to contact settings and you go to import and just follow the instructions on this page. You can import those folks. Make sure you import them with a tag so that, you know, because if you are just for the express purpose, because it sounds like this is a database from the business you sold, right?
Well, yes and no, only in the sense that when you think of niching down, there was people that I wanted, but it didn't fit the niche perfectly. So I just kind of kept them at bay, if you would. But now that I'm doing this, absolutely they fit. Okay.
And so you would, I assume you're retaining rights to this list in spite of having sold the business, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I just can't do what I did before.
Got you.
And those tools I cannot do.
Got you. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So so just make sure that that you are including any of the appropriate organizational tags that you would want to like identify these specific people. I think it would probably be a good idea to make sure that there is a tag on them that indicates that they are, you know, from the other business or something like that, just so that you're clear, you know, just to make sure that you've got all of that organized in terms of your list. So yeah, you're gonna upload your people here. Once you've got them uploaded, you're gonna go in and filter your contacts for those people. Because I assume, this isn't necessarily the entirety of your list or big picture, it won't be long term. But I'm going to, let's see, I'll just do this one. I'll choose lead. You choose whichever one you use when you uploaded your contacts. We filter for those people. In this case, it's just one. We're going to go to actions. And from here, now this is going to depend on what your strategy is to get people into this funnel or into the pipeline. Here is probably a better way to put this. If you want to just send an email, you can absolutely compose an email here. If you would prefer to have a drip campaign that maybe sends an initial email and then touches back after, that's an option here as well. The thing that you may be doing in this case is filtering for these contacts and then sending them maybe a 2-message campaign that's inviting them to book a call with you to get on your calendar, right?
Mhm.
And so in that case, you would want to set up either, use something that you're already using, or if you are, at a place where you're ready to build something like this out in AttractWell, it's really simple to set up just a call booking funnel where you've got the sort of intake page. You've got, I'll actually show you what one of these looks like. Here we go, this one right here. All right, so for your call funnel, you're going to want to have some kind of a page where, they're understanding that there is really something in it for them to hop on the phone with you. You're going to tell them what they're going to get from being on that call. Of course, you create a form, and we do have a training on our YouTube channel that kind of goes over how you would set up your strategy call intake here. And then, of course, you want to take them to a page to book with you. The Client Funnel Challenge, another free course that we offer, does go through the discovery call funnel process. So that this is a part of training that I believe you have access to as well. And that's it. Yeah. So you're going to make sure that you have your vault built and that it's payment enabled. You're going to upload your contacts and then begin outreach. Either manually, just sending out an email to see who bites and, gets in a conversation with you. Or if you wanted to take that a step further, actually set up a discovery call funnel and, send out a couple of emails out to that group, or texts if you want to, depending on, whether these guys respond to text.
Right. If you had a group of people like yourself that are accomplished business people and there was an offer that you were interested in, I'm not suggesting that. How many people of that caliber would you think, well, we get too many, it's going to be too much alpha going on there. So how big a group would you, because I can certainly limit this. It's not going to be an economic decision. I mean, the things that they're telling me they want, it's not about how much whether I charge 2,000 to 3, 4, 5, 10, that's not going to be the limiting factor. It's going to be time and making sure it's productive in terms of the power, not the power, the personalities of those kinds of people. Any ideas on that?
Is interaction among the group members a cornerstone of what you're providing? Is it a primary feature?
It's going to be a big one because obviously this is not in a single niche. So the benefit of learning from someone else is doing, and then now what my expertise will be in terms of how to take what someone's doing in another niche, how do I take that and transform it and use it in my business?
Okay.
I do that a lot. They don't know how to do that. So I want that interaction so I can actually provide super value there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should go at 5, if I should go to 8, 10. I'm just kind of.
Yeah, it's going to depend, right? It's going to depend on the profession, the price points, and how much work you really want to do on the back end. We used to run, this is before I worked with Greg and Amanda, we used to run groups, 90-day groups. We capped it out at about 20 people, but it was very high touch. And we had a team on the back end. So, for accountability, because we were like what you're discussing here today. We would have a discovery call. We weren't just putting a sales page out there. You couldn't be just anybody. Like, we needed to make sure you were right to make the offer. And because we had that information and had that relationship with the people who were coming in when they were leads, when they signed up for the program, we already kind of had an idea about who we thought would pair together well. And because working together and sort of having that accountability partner throughout was a feature of the program, it made sense for us to really build in the systems and take on that administrative overhead on the back end, because it really was integral to the success and the outcome of what our clients were investing in. So I think, how and whether you cap, it really kind of depends on the environment that you're trying to create.
Okay.
And so I don't know that I'd be too worried about there being too many alphas in the room per se, because I think that can actually create a really interesting environment. I think people who are that type of personality, who have the right mindset, and that maybe is something you want to take into consideration when you're making your offers. If they've got the right mindset, that actually creates a wildly dynamic and powerful sort of energy collectively there that everyone can kind of benefit from and feed off of. But if you are able to really make sure that people are the right energetic fit for what you're doing, so that they really can all kind of jive together, then I mean, it's 20, sure, why not? But it really at that point becomes a question of like, what can Randy manage before you start losing your mind, right? Or you need to hire somebody or something like that.
Okay.
I hope
Okay,
that
I'll do
helps.
that. And is there anything within AttractWell? One of the things we're going to do is it'll probably be at least semi-annually, but call it a retreat where
Okay.
these guys will get together. Is there any way I can structure that inside AttractWell?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
we've got folks who've run retreats with us before. They'll have a sales page for the retreat, and they'll integrate a vault into the deliverable. So maybe there's key information about the retreat itself. Maybe there's a mastermind attached to it, or there's videos from it, or chat, like ongoing discussion from attendees, that kind of thing. Again, it kind of depends on the experience that you want to provide. But the way that I've seen it done is sales page and then putting them into a vault, so that you've got that excitement and interactivity and sort of ongoing potential for, say, like a mastermind environment before and after the event.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm debating. I think for these guys, calling it group coaching is not going to be very exciting versus saying a mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And you call it a $25,000 mastermind. People want to say they did that as opposed to they paid for a coaching program. One seems to be elevating, and one seems to be I needed help.
That your audience. Yeah, those are there are little triggers that we have in our minds into a high performing type A person who is very proud of and invested in their success and their image of success. They don't want to pay to associate themselves with something that makes it look like they need help, right? Because that's not who they are. You call it the elite mastermind because they see themselves as being elite. And a mastermind definitely is that would be more along the lines of what somebody like that would want, for sure. Yeah. I don't think group coaching is a good name. A good thing to call any group coaching program, right? You want to call it an intensive, or you want to call it a challenge or a mastermind or something like that. Definitely more effective language. Great question,
Thank you so
Randy.
much. Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see you here.
You bet.
All right. Fantastic questions, everybody. Really glad that you were able to join us here today, and thank you, Randy, for talking through that. I hope that you guys found that helpful. Maybe you got some inspiration, some ideas, learned a little bit more about what's possible for you and how you run your business with AttractWell. If you have anything that you would like to walk through, you want an iteration of what's my workflow to get XYZ thing done, like we just did with Randy. You are welcome to bring that here. We can dedicate an entire entire hour to building something like that together and getting a plan in place so that you can build and run your business the way you want it. So guys, thank you so much for being here this week. We'll be back same time next week, 2:00 Eastern. Be in our inbox, come to our Facebook group. Let us know what you want to learn about next. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, guys.